Welcome back to another episode of College Football on a Bridge. Today we're going to talk about the Clemson Tigers. Last year was I was wrong on a lot of things last year, as many people were. Clemson, I thought they were definitely a title contender. That was kind of their year to do it. With Klubnik back, they had a lot of pieces around it, and it just didn't work. They went 7-6, which should not you shouldn't be happy with that, and nobody was. A lot of talk about Dabo. I find it all kind of ridiculous. I mean, he pretty much has put them where they are. The expectation is because of him. I may address that it's kind of a weird dynamic we have with Clemson and Dabo. We have a lot of people saying he needs to step it up in the transfer portal. He needs to improve all these things that, and meanwhile he's standing on his grounds that this is how he wants to do it, and it's the same people who are upset about NIL and the changes and how everything's they're complaining everything's is different are also kind of saying that he needs to go because he's not doing those things, and it just rolls around on itself a lot, and it's not. I don't know. I like him for it. Standing up, being like, "Look, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it my way. This is how we done it. We'll see what happens." They got Vizina at quarterback this year. He's been there for a while as a backup. Sounds like Dabo is very good with him. He's happy with him, trusts him. You got Gideon Davidson back at running back. You got Wesco. You got Moore. I mean, they're talented on offense. They're bringing in Chad Morris, who was fantastic with them last go around when he was there. And then the defense is loaded. I mean, you got Will Hyde there. You got Sammy Brown at linebacker. Ashton Hampton. They bring in Elliott Washington from Penn State, a transfer. So I mean, they have the pieces again. It's just a matter of can everything click. I feel like they have a somewhat easier schedule. I mean, they got to go to Baton Rouge week 1. But outside of that, I mean, they got Miami. See how Georgia Tech is with new quarterback. See how South Carolina is. They got to go at Cal right before Miami. So that's an interesting dynamic. Overall, I feel like they could easily go a 10-win season, 11-win season, and get back to where Dabo's had them before. But seeing them there, I could easily foresee them being an ACC championship game and the playoffs, all that kind of back to normal, and would just give the man a little bit of time because he'll get it going. They got the right guys. He gets the guys in there that there's not a whole lot of movement. They kind of go there. They know we're committed to it. This is what we're signing up for, and I think overall, that's a good thing to have. We're not doing a rent a player every year. It's good. Obviously the pieces have been there, but maybe not necessarily the right pieces at the right time and everything clicking. But where are you gonna go from Dabo winning as good as he's done? I mean, you got 7-6 as probably one of his worst years outside of I think he went 6-6 in the year 2. Overall, that LSU game is going to be that's going to be a big game, just like it was last year. I mean, it was a 17-10 game last year, and both of those should have been, you would have thought would have been one of the biggest games. Both teams kind of tanked out, given their expectation. But after that, you got Troy. I'm sorry, you got Georgia Southern, you got North Carolina at home, at Cal, and then Miami, and that kind of you get there's some games there. Virginia Tech, seeing how another, ironically, another failure of a season last year with from Penn State, but Virginia Tech, I think they're going to turn around. I think you give Franklin in kind of a probably pretty mad James Franklin, which I think will be interesting to see how that dynamic is. We're getting into them later, but yeah, overall, I think Clemson got all the pieces together. Just spot the ball, get them out there, and see what happens against LSU in Baton Rouge.